Hey, I'm back with another story time. Where we left off last time. On the story time we left off, it was 2023 in December. That's when I was moving back to Florida out of my apartment. I was getting evicted. So I was already, and I think I lasted probably a good 2 months. It was probably, I don't think I paid rent for 2 months. No, it probably was a month and a half, but I don't know. All I know is I don't know how it happened, but it was just by the grace of God that I didn't get evicted sooner. None of my stuff got cut off. My lights was still on. None of that stuff got cut off until I actually was moving and I called to get it turned off. But it was December. I had to go answer the eviction notice. I had to find a ride. I had to catch I think it was a Lyft or Uber. Either or. I had to catch the Lyft or Uber to like halfway across town, cause I didn't know. And let me back up. So this is my first time ever going through something like this. So when I got the notice, so wherever they sent the note from, I thought that's where I had to go and answer it. So they sent it, and it was like, what was it, like 15 minutes from my house, but walking distance it was like an hour and something, I think. So I'm up there walking to the place, not knowing that this was, I think it was it Labor Day or Veterans Day? I don't know if it was Labor Day or Veterans Day when I was walking to the place, and I didn't realize it until I got almost there. And then my friend called me. She was like, hey, she was like, what you doing? I was like, I'm walking to answer this thing. And she was like, you walked there? I'm like, yeah. She's thinking I'm walking to the place. So to the actual place from where I live at. That's why she was like, you walked there? I'm like, yeah. Or whatever. So I'm like, I'm almost there. And she was like, I don't think they open today, because her mom is a veteran. She was like, Mama, I don't think they open today because my cousin worked for the courthouse and everything is closed. Like everything, all the government jobs are closed. So I'm like, oh my God. So you telling me and when I tell y'all, it was like, I think it was like 5 miles or something like that. So, and mind you, it's cold outside. This was December in Atlanta. So, so I walked in. Then when I was walking back, I was telling her, I was like, I don't know. I was walking to the place. I don't know when we, I think I got all the way back to the house. And then I was telling her where I was walking to. She was like, no. She was like, oh, that place ain't by your house. That's all the way on the other side of Duluth. And I'm like, oh, shoot. It was the courthouse. I had to go to the courthouse. But I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what was going on. But I had to go to the other side of Duluth. Like all the way to the other side of Duluth. I think, I don't want to say Lawrence. I don't want to say it's Lawrenceville. But it's like, it was north. I don't know right now, but either which way, I went the wrong freaking way. I went the wrong freaking way, and so when the weekend was over, when that day was over with, I end up getting money from somewhere. I don't know where I got the money from, but I got enough money to catch an Uber. I went up there, answered it. So when I was going back home, I was short like $5. So I'm like, who can I ask for some money? So I'm texting my cousins. I'm like, hey, do you have such and such I could borrow? I'm at the courthouse. I need a ride back home and I don't have enough money. So one of my cousins ended up sending me the money. And when I tell y'all I was standing outside freezing waiting for that Uber, I had to walk back inside and warm up. Then I walked back outside, got in the lift, got in the Uber, went home. So by this time I'm running low on groceries. I was out of groceries, so I think I had popcorn in my pantry. I had peanut butter and jelly. I was eating peanut butter and jelly out of a bowl, mixing it up, eating peanut butter and jelly out of the bowl. I warmed up the popcorn. Then when the popcorn was gone, I was like, what else? Then it got to the point where I was eating ranch dressing and freaking jalapenos. I was eating freaking ranch dressing and jalapenos. Like, tell me the struggle wasn't real. Tell me that struggle wasn't real. It had a boy eating up. I don't know. I just seen him. I'm like, let me eat that. And I'm just eating slices of freaking jalapenos. Dipping it inside of freaking ranch. Like, bro, that was a struggling time. So I was just praying to God, like, God, come on, you gotta make a way. And then I end up in this, like I said in the last video, I was in this church ministry, but we were like online, Clubhouse and stuff like that. So I would have people that would randomly say, hey, I see such and such in here. I want to bless him. I want to send him this or whatever. And they would send money to my Cash App. And I was blessed through that. By the grace of God, I was blessed through that. So they would send me, and I would, like, I didn't have no car. So I would, like, I had a freaking, it was a pizza place right outside my complex. And I would walk from the back of my complex up to the, not a pizza place, sorry y'all, to a chicken spot. It was like a Chinese place, but it had like, they served like hot wings, chickens and stuff like that, French fries. So I went there and I ate from there one time. Then I'm like, I need to get something that's gonna last. So I end up, after I did that, the next day I think I end up ordering Marco's. They had the hot honey magnifico pizza. I end up ordering that. Y'all, when I tell you, and that lasted a couple days. So I was just like, I made it stretch a couple days. I'll eat 2 pizzas this day, one for breakfast, one for breakfast, one for dinner, or one for lunch. Then and then 8 coming the thing. So I had to break it up to make it last throughout the days. And then I ran out of water. So I was like, I was feeling, and I hate faucet water. I despise faucet water. And I had to put some faucet water inside of a pot and boil it. I had to put faucet water inside of a pot and boil it, and it was so dreadful. But I end up walking up to the store. But I did that afterwards. But when I walked to that to the store to get the chicken and stuff, they had a little corner store next to it. So I ended up grabbing a jug of water then, and going back to the house or whatever. So, but after that ran out, that's when I was doing the boiling water. And every day I would get up, I would get dressed, and I would walk about 4 miles. I would do me like, no. Yeah, I would walk about 4 miles. It was around, I walked around my block every single day. It was like 4 miles to go from this part all the way around. So I would do that every single day. So the time was coming. Then I end up talking to one of the people that I met in the group, and we were just talking, and she was like, I gotta come there to get my hair done. I told her my situation, and I was telling her like, yeah, I reached out to such and such, but they never responded to me. They said they were gonna let me know if they could help me, help me find some resources, but they never responded to me. She was like, well, and this person ended up helping me. She ended up helping me. She sold into me. I think she sold $500 into me. And I end up getting my car fixed. And they fixed it, but something happened. They fixed it and something else ended up happening to it, to where it started running hot. So, right, and mind you, once the car started running hot again, I had to park it again, because I was trying to go back out there and DoorDash and Uber Eats. So I was doing that, and then in the midst of me doing that, something ended up bursting inside the car and it ended up running hot. So I had to drive back. I'm like, I got to drop this order off. So I had to take the order back to the mall. Mind you, I'm all the way down close by downtown Atlanta when this happened. So I had to drive all the way to Perimeter Mall to drop off the package that I had from Macy's to take it to somebody. So I had to go back and drop off that package, then drive home. I drove to the AutoZone. What did I drive? Oh, to see if they could put my car in the machine, but they didn't know what was wrong with it or whatever. So I just ended up driving home, and by that time I'm like, all right, time is ticking. I know when I go, my court date was like, I think my court date was like the 19th. And this is like probably, I think my court date was like the 19th. This was probably around the 10th or 11th, around this time. But, so I end up, my people, and I think this was the weekend, so I had to wait to take my car back to my mechanic. And they was like, all right, just bring it back up here so we could check it out or whatever. So I took it back up there, and they said they wasn't going to charge me because I had just got it fixed. So they were like, all right, it should be good. We don't see a problem. We don't know what's going on wrong. I drove it around. It's not running hot, da-da-da-da, da-da-da. So I'm like, okay, cool. But I know when you drive it for a while, it started going. And he drove it around the block. He drove it up the street. He drove it back. He was just driving it, and he said it wasn't running hot. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, go back to the house, and then I was like, I think it was like 2 days from that, I was like going to pack my I was going to pack my stuff in the car. So I had already started breaking down stuff and packing and moving stuff around to try to break things down so I could get moved and go back to Florida. So, but and I skipped all that part. I just knew. Yeah, this person was telling me, you're like, well, God probably wants you to go back to Florida. Just ask your mom if you could come stay back with her or whatever until you get on your feet. She was like, until you get on your feet, da-da-da-da, But I'm like, baby, you don't know my mama. And I know my mama, but I didn't want to ask them. I did not want to ask them if I could come stay at their house. Because they had just bought a house. They had just bought a house or whatever. And they had an extra room, and she always say, hey baby, we got an extra room. And she wanted me to come back. She wanted to tell me something, whenever you come down here, you'll have a room to come to, and I'm like, yeah. So that was all talk. So I end up asking her. She was like, let me ask your stepfather or whatever, and So they end up saying yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got a plan. I'm gonna go down there, I'm gonna grind, get my money up, and I'm hit back up here and get me a place. So I ended up packing my stuff up, I loaded the car up, and whatever I couldn't take, I just left it, like my bed. I had to leave my bed, I left some pictures, I left containers, I just didn't want to take. It was just so much stuff that I was like, I had to leave, but I just took what I could or whatever. So I'm like, maybe somebody will be able to get this bed. Maybe they'll give it to somebody or something, So I loaded the car up. So the morning of me getting ready to leave, I was getting up about 5 or 6 o'clock that morning, and I left the key on the counter. And I end up loading up the car that morning. I had everything moved by the door. So I end up loading up the car, and it's raining. It's hard down raining outside, and it's cold. So I'm up there loading up the car in the rain, just packing it. Packing as much as I could pack. I had to leave my steamer because I knew it couldn't fit in the car. I'm like, ugh. So So I packed the car, jam packed, jam packed, jam packed. Then I got in the car, started driving. Soon as I started driving out, it was okay because it wasn't showing no signs of hotness. I filled up, got some gas. She ended up sending me some money to make it there. So she ended up sewing it to me and sending me some money to make it there. So I ended up stopping to the store, getting some gas. I'm like, okay, I'm finna fill up. So I filled up, got in the car, I started driving. Soon as I decided to get on the highway, the car started running hot. And I'm like, oh my God, this cannot be happening to me. So I'm like, I gotta turn around. And it was smoky like a chimney. Like, I'm talking about, it was so smoky that to where I could barely see. So I had to get off on the next exit, come back around. I'm like, I can't do it. No. You know what? I did. I ended up coming back. And I ended up pulling back into the gas station. And she called. She's like, hey, you on the road? Yeah. I'm like, man, my car's running high. I don't know what's going on. She's like, don't panic. Just pray over the car right now. So I'm up there praying over the car. And just talking to the car like, God, just please bless this car to make it to Florida. Please, Lord Jesus Christ. I'm just praying. Like, praying on this car. And so I end up at the gas station. So I'm like, I gotta go back to the house. So we was trying to call somebody that stayed up here, but they lived all the way in Valdosta, that she was trying to call to come look at the car. And I'm like, baby, that's way too far. I'm just gonna go back to the house because it's raining out here and it is foggy and I can't roll the windows down. It was just too much going on. So I end up driving back to the house. Going to the house, I said, thank God I didn't drop their key off at the front office, and I left the key in the house because I was able to go back to the house. So I went back to the house, and she was just like, don't panic, just wait. You could take it to your mechanic. And this time, and what time this was? Oh, even when the car was running hot, even before my mechanic was open, I was looking up different shops. So I'm driving to all these U-Haul places because I'm like, okay, she was like, just get a U-Haul, then you could get the trailer and you could put the car on the trailer and drive it back or whatever. So you could put the car on the, the thing that you ride the car up on and get the car back, because it was my cousin's car. Like I said, I haven't bought the car from her yet. So that's what she was saying. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, they charging a lot for them. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough. But everywhere I was going to look for a trailer, nobody had a trailer. And I'm driving from this U-Haul place to this U-Haul place, this U-Haul place. Everybody was booked up, and mind you, the car is running hot as I'm doing this. So as I'm pulling up, it's smoke everywhere. So I'm just like, oh my God, this is so freaking embarrassing. I'm like, this is so goddamn embarrassing. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to leave this car here. I don't know. Then then I end up driving to my mechanic. I'm like, let me drive back to them and let them know that this is not working. I drove back to them and I'm like, hey, y'all, man, I don't know what's going on. My car not working. It's still doing the same exact thing. And as he getting in it, it's not doing nothing. He's driving it. Mind you, I got all my stuff in there, and he's driving the car all around the block that I said I walk around. Like, he's driving it, pushing it to the metal, and he's just like, I don't see nothing wrong with it. They looked up underneath it, and he's just like, I don't see nothing wrong with it. He was like, but if something happened, or if it start happening again, bring it back to us. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to go to Florida. I gotta move. I'm like, I just got evicted. I'm keeping it real. I'm like, I just got evicted. I gotta move. So I don't know if I'm gonna make it back. So my silly self. So I get on the road again. Everything going good. So I'm driving. By the time I get to South Florida. by the time I got to South Georgia, to the south side, because I had to pull off on the not Mount Zion exit. It's the one before the Forest Park. I think it's Forest Park. I had to pull off on that exit because when I got over there, I'm talking about, it was like, whoo, that smoke was coming. I had to pull on the side of the, I pulled in the median when I got off the exit, and I sat there for a little while till the smoke went away, and I cranked it back up and I drove into that Quick Trip. And I parked right there, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know what. I'm like, let me see if I can find a U-Haul place over here. Found a U-Haul place. Nobody had no trailers. They's like, we don't have any trailers. We renting them all out, da 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 da. So I'm like, all right, so do you got a truck? So I just got the smallest truck they had. So I had to catch the Uber over to the U-Haul place, get their truck, come back to the car, unload the car, put it on there. I had to leave my cousin's car there. I had to leave my cousin's car there and have, so I left it there and I told the people in the store like, hey, I got my car there. It broke down on me. I'll be back in a couple of days to get it. Please make sure, can you please make sure that it's not, y'all don't have it towed? And they was like, yeah, cool. We'll do that. So, or whatever. So I ended up loading up the U-Haul truck. And I think this U-Haul truck didn't have no, it didn't have no gas in there. So I had to put gas in there. And the little gas I had, I think I had 30, I think I had about, I think I put about $30 in there. And I had like, I put $30 in there and I had like 20, I don't even know. I think I put $30 in there. I think she ended up sending me some more. I don't know, but I know I end up swiping. That's what I end up doing. I end up overdrafting my card. That's what happened. I filled it up with gas, and I got me something to eat. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So I end up overdrafting my card. I end up filling the truck up, and I end up grabbing me something to eat, something that can last the whole entire ride. I went to what is it called? What's that place called? The chicken place, Bojangles, and I got a box of biscuits, and I got some chicken sandwiches, and y'all. But those U-Haul trucks, they burn a lot of gas. I'm like, what the heck? That junk burns so much gas. I'm like, because by the time I got to, like, over there by Ocala, I needed some more gas. She gave me some. She sent me the money. That's when she sent the money, because I was like, hey, I'm about to out of gas. She sent me some more money to get me on home. So when I got there, I ended up going to my mom's house or whatever, unload my stuff. I unloaded my stuff, and I end up dropping that stuff, and she came, and the person ended up coming to pick me up from my mom's house, because I was going to go out to their house, and I was just dropping my stuff off at my mom's house because I was trying to get out there so I could make some moves. And we was working, we had a plan that we was trying to make some money. So I'm like, she came to pick me up that next day, and I ended up dropping the U-Haul off, and we ended up going. I stayed at her house for like all the way, I was just out there like for a week before my mom and them started blowing my phone up. Hey, we thought you was coming to get yourself together. Your stepdaddy want to know why you're not here. He need to talk to you. All this stuff. And I'm just like, I can't make no moves. Where y'all live at? I can't make no moves out there. I said I did come to get myself together. That's why I'm over where I'm at now. I said, what's the problem? Because I'm trying to figure out what was the problem. I'm not at y'all house. I dropped my stuff off, and y'all saying we thought you was coming here to. Why? What's the problem? What was the problem? So I was like, all right. After a while, she ended up taking me back over there, and I ended up staying there for a while, and instantly I knew this is not where I wanted to be, because people that like old school people and people that have that slave mentality, I can't operate with that. I can't operate with that. So that was like, it was just not working. So he was like, hey, I get you a job, and I'm just like, I don't do well with jobs. I'm gonna let you know right now. I don't do well with jobs. And my plan was to come here and y'all to help me get on my feet. That's all I'm asking y'all for, is a place to stay until I get on my feet. And they was like, yeah. It's not come here to work. It's not come here to help y'all pay no bills, because y'all don't need my help to pay no bills. And if y'all would have said that from the beginning, I would have never came here. You get what I'm saying? I would have went straight over there. I would have never came here. So I was saying that, I said that, and I was just like having to let him know, like, check him, because he was trying to like talk to me like, he was trying to talk to me as if I'm like this, in so many words, like this low life type of person. So I'm just like, I had to check him a couple times, like, don't play with me. Like, I'm not him, but I'm him, if that makes sense. But yeah, that was the story of me moving back to Florida, moving in with them. So I'm gonna wrap it up right here. And y'all stay tuned for the next one. This is 2024 of when I went back there. I went back there, I think after New Year's. It was after New Year's. It was before my birthday, after New Year's. 2020, January 2024 is when I moved back there. Is when I went over to their house and started staying there. For real, because they was aggravating me about coming over there. Then when I got over there, it's just like, hey, you can't control me. He was trying to control. He's a controlling man, so he was trying to control me and what I do. You have a wife, control her. Don't try to control me, because I don't understand what was the problem of me not. Then you're gonna say, hey, if you're gonna, how long you plan on being here? Because if you're gonna be here, you're gonna have to chip in on the bills. I'm like, nigga, I wasn't even here. Why did y'all even aggravate me to come over here? Like, it was just so, I just don't understand. Some black parents, like, I don't understand. It just, y'all just some crap. They have that crab in a barrel mentality. Like, I just don't understand. Then say you helping somebody. You're not helping somebody with your hand out. You're not helping somebody. Helping somebody is helping them. You can't say, oh, I'm helping them when I gotta pay you back. How are you helping me when I gotta pay you back? That's not helping. So stop telling people, like, going behind my back, telling people, oh yeah, because we helping Kareem, we helping him. He ended up getting put out his place in Georgia, so he's down here living with us, and that was and if y'all know me, like, me coming on here took a big step for me to come on here, but I don't like people in my business at all. I don't like people in my business at all. So the fact that y'all around here, and I didn't even tell nobody that I was even back in town, but everybody knew I was back in town because y'all running y'all mouth every time y'all go to somebody. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it off right here, and y'all stay tuned for the next story time. Remember, we was in January 2024. Yeah, I had just went over to stay with my mom, then moved from Georgia to Florida. And make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment, make sure y'all hit that bell button so you'll be notified when I drop another banger. Yeah, so I'll catch y'all next story time.